Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. Today, we're going to be talking tech in a way that's easy to understand and to help you find tips about, hey, let's do this a little easier. So, with that, we always like to get started with this week in tech history. But today, I think, oh yeah, are we ready for this week in tech history? Okay, then
Yes.
we are going to start with that. Good morning. I'm here with my friend and co-host, Miss Francine Gregory. Um, I'm a tech diva and entrepreneur. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we are the Biz Chicks. So, Fran, what's going on this week in tech history?
Well, let's see. Let's start with April 10th, 1943. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania
Hmm.
began work on the electronic numerical integrator and computer,
Mm.
also known as ENIAC, which, when completed, will become the first general purpose, fully electronic computer capable of making calculations 1,000 times faster than any other computer prior to that. The work will be carried out in secret since the computer is intended for military purposes, though it won't actually be completed until after World War II ends.
Mm.
And it was to be unveiled to the public February 1946. And this thing is taken up literally a room.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Tachi. Yeah, so that is that. April 11th, 1957, the Ryan X-3 Vertijet makes its first vertical takeoff and
Uh-huh.
landing, making the first time a jet-powered aircraft successfully completed a VTOL flight.
Mm.
Militaries around the world at the time were experimenting with the concept of VTOL as a way of having aircraft that could take off and land from areas with no runway,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a helicopter, right?
Yeah,
While the
exactly.
X-13 was tested successfully, the program was canceled after only 2 years. The X-13 concept proved unfeasible for the United States military due to a variety of issues, including payload and range capabilities.
Mm.
I believe that Uber and some other companies are looking at VOTL
E-
for,
Exactly. Isn't this the technology they needed to be able to take off in urban areas and you know what
yes,
I mean, without runways and make it more personalized? And we
right,
saw that when we showed that air taxi from Dubai.
right,
Yeah. Yeah. So, wow, this, and we're thinking this is new technology.
right. Okay, so April 12th, 1961, Yuri Gagarin, age 27, becomes the first man to orbit the Earth aboard the Soviet spacecraft Vostok 1. He remains in space for an hour and 48 minutes before re-entering the atmosphere. This ultimately was his only space flight. He died on March 27th, 1968, when the MiG-15 he was piloting crashed near a MiG-15. I believe that's a plane
Hmm.
crashed near Moscow. Reportedly, at the time of his death, he was training for a second space mission.
Wow.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go to, oh, who in the world is Ronald Wayne?
Hmm.
April 12th, 1976, Ronald Wayne, one of the three co-founders of Apple Computer, leaves the company just 11 days after it was established, selling his 10% share for Anybody want to guess?
$2,000.
Dr. Chacha, you got a guess?
I'll go with 5,000.
$800, people.
Damn shame.
In his short time with the company, Wayne illustrated the first Apple logo, wrote the company's partnership agreement, and wrote the manual for the Apple One. He chose to leave the company because the partnership agreement imposed unlimited personal liability on all three co-founders, regardless of which partner incurred the debt. Unlike Jobs and Wozniak, 21 and 25, Wayne had personal assets that potential creditors could seize. The failure of a slot machine company he had started 5 years earlier also contributed to his decision to exit the partnership. Wayne would later say that either I was going to be bankrupt or the richest man in the cemetery. By 1982, a 10% share of Apple Computer was worth, this is 1982, was worth $1.5 billion.
Wow.
Wait, in 1982 dollars?
Not by 1982, a 10% share of Apple Computer was worth US dollars 1.5 billion with a B.
We got some comments over here. Hold on.
Go ahead, Dr. Tachi.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this because you know how they always make the comparison. That would be $1.2 billion in today's currency, but it was in 1982.
With a B.
Wow. Okay.
And in 2010, it was worth 22 billion.
Stop. He already gave him a heart attack with the 1.5. Okay. Mark says,
Hi, Dee.
Hey, sorry. Can you bring,
Dee?
No. Bring the speaker a little bit closer because it's hard to hear Terry.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this up. How about that?
Oh, okay, great.
Okay. Let me know if that's better.
Okay.
Terry?
Yes. Mark said tech regarding tech history. Technically, I was brought into the world on this date a few, but try to define that years ago. Was that on your list? So I think it's his birthday. Is it your birthday? And then Carlos says the MiG are Russian fighter jets.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then he goes on to say, Carlos got jokes this morning. He says Ronald Wayne is a mix of Ronald McDonald and John Wayne. And regarding the dollar amount, he says that's in today's dollars. As far as the value of.
Or the guy who wrote this article wrote this a while back.
Okay.
So 82, 10%. I'm like, dude, what were you thinking? But okay. He was thinking a couple of things. And
remember, we got inflation going there. So yeah, I see. And plus the value of the stock going up all at the same time. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to give you a couple of more. Or maybe just one more. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, April 14th, 1912, the RMS Titanic strikes an iceberg 4 days into its maiden voyage. Over 1,500 passengers drowned when the ship sinks early the next morning. The Marconi wireless equipment on board is used to call for help, effectively saving 700 people.
Wow.
It was stated that those who have been saved through one man, Mr. Marconi, and his wonderful invention. I don't know. Okay.
The radio. Wow. A Mayday on a new invention.
Right. So we can't be afraid to put it out there. You know what I mean? Just Okay, I'm gonna remember what Ronald Wayne. Wow. Okay, April 14th, 1981, the first test flight of the first operational space shuttle, the Columbia, ends successfully as the orbiter lands at Edwards Air Force Base in California. Now, that's the tech history. I would like to give you all an update on some recent news. About 10 days ago, I'm not sure if everybody heard that the co-founder of Cash App was stabbed in San Francisco, stabbed and killed in San Francisco, California. Uh, Yesterday, they found out who did it or who they suspect.
And alleged they made an arrest.
They made an arrest, and it was another tech executive. I should have brought up his name. But anyway, just in case somebody didn't know, and because when they said co-founder of Cash App, my thought normally, the first thing I thought of was Jack Dorsey, who started Twitter and Cash App. But this was the other partner that I did not know anything about. So I just wanted to give an update. Dr. Tachi, were you aware?
I did not know that they had made an arrest.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was another co-founder?
Another tech executive.
I believe he was a consultant or someone who was working with them. Mm-hmm.
It's someone else in the tech industry that is being accused. And
they knew each other. They had been together that evening, allegedly.
Yeah. And so he was arrested. Go ahead.
You know, the funny thing is, as this was happening, I'm sure you all heard the conspiracy theories around this.
Mm-hmm.
It was, somebody connected with another app, or it could have been, there were all sorts of conspiracy theories that were floating around. So it doesn't come as surprising that this is the case, because these are not things that often happen in Silicon Valley.
No.
If something like this happens, first of all, it's in a movie.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's usually related to, money or some sort of dispute or something like that. It's very, I don't want to say it's rare, but we don't hear about it. So I'm surprised to hear that this is the case. And it's also very terrible. And then speaking of movie, look for a movie about this. There's going to be some true crime, something. They're going to look at this either in a true crime podcast, true crime series. There's going to be a movie. There will be a series kind of loosely based off of it. Mark my words, it's coming.
Oh, it is. Yeah. And SFPD they would not offer any, well, how did you know to go get him? They were like, we ain't telling y'all nothing. We are still investigating and doing things, and we will update you when, as it goes along. And apparently other people were talking. I didn't read the news about what, and they asked Mr. Musk not to talk about stuff and put out erroneous information that would cause the investigation problems. You know what I mean? I'm sure a whole lot of people have a opinion, and like Dr. Tachi said, this is not something that normally happens in Silicon Valley, not like this.
Well, I don't know if San Francisco is considered Silicon Valley. Is that more like San Jose? Okay.
It is. Anything in that
anything tech in California. Okay.
Over in the Bay Area.
Yeah, that whole Bay Area, that northern corridor, that Bay Area is really considered Silicon Valley. Even if it's not technically, Silicon Valley has annexed, as you all know, because you're in that area, has annexed a lot of that area.
Yes, they did move up to San Francisco. I mean, a lot of the millionaires moved up there. Okay. I get it. I think the concern too was that some of the information that people were putting out put a really bad light on San Francisco for tourism and things like that, made it appear exceptionally dangerous, etc. When in fact, it turns out this had nothing to do with, run of the mill crime. It's something else.
May I add to that? The thing is, I need for us to stop having okay, so there used to be something, and I haven't heard about it lately, but something I used to teach in communication, a mean world index. Have you heard about that?
Mm-mm.
The mean world index is basically a marker of how evil people believe the world is and how unsafe people believe the world is, or their belief in a mean world. And so this is so textbook mean world index, where people, for example, will believe that, oh, a place is dangerous because they hear about one or two things happening, and so they generalize it to the entire place. So that shows that we also don't have good critical thinking skills. I'm not saying, don't look behind your back or don't be vigilant, but the reality is that the place is not rampant with serial killers. Well, perhaps I should
Exactly.
Well, but that's true. It is not. You know what I mean? Because there would have, SFPD and all of California would have a lot more going on. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, so the TV shows, Monk or whoever is solving a problem every day or every week. There's not that much happening like that.
Well, exactly. And the thing is, it's a perfect fit for talking about media, because often the way we get to know other places in the world is through media. I live in California, so I don't know what's happening in California unless my good friend in the gallery there, Kevin, says, "Hey, this is happening," because I'm not there. Likewise, a lot of people didn't know that there was serious flooding here in Fort Lauderdale and that the airport closed because we got 25 inches of rain in like 8 hours. So unless you live here, you don't know. So media is really the way that we get to know the world. And so when you see things in media and it overinflates it, and maybe it's not their intent, but that's what happens, because the human mind will go to, oh my gosh, there's such and such, it's happening all over the place. And to the extent it's really not. So sometimes certain crimes have gone down, but because one thing happens and it's high profile, people make the assumption all of New York City is dangerous, and it's not.
Exactly. I was just going to say that that's the very example that, there's like people are like, you walk down the street and everybody's getting shot and murdered and killed. I've been here for years. I have never, thank God, witnessed a crime. But I'm just saying that's the perception that you go to New York, you're going to get stabbed, murdered, killed. Somebody's going to do something to you, and it's not like that at all.
Well, Carlos,
off of Gun Hill Road in the Bronx, nothing happened to them. And off of Gun Hill Road, nothing has happened to them.
And Dr. Tachi, you're right. And a lot of this comes from a lot of the older movies from the 70s of the Bronx and New York, all those old movies. Yeah, that was how it was in the 70s, but it's 2023. It's not like that. Everything's Disney-fied here. Everything's
and was it really like that in the 70s, or was it just
it was? Well, it was. Yes, it was. It was. Kind of.
It was bad in the 70s and it was bad in the 80s, right? And that, there's a lot that had to do with that. We won't go into Reaganomics and all the things that led to that happening, the war on drugs, etc. But there were aspects of bad things. But there are people who grew up there who turned out okay. In fact, I will take a New York City kid over any kid because and they know how to do things proper. I will take them any day over anybody else. But I think that media does have a tendency to overinflate.
Right.
Right. And it's the same thing real quick when you hear it used to be about, the continent of Africa. Africa was, the thing that was portrayed in the movies of, jungle and there's no streets and no cities. But that's not true. There are countries in Africa where there's urban areas, but that hasn't been shown in movies. So if you're not from that area or never visited and you live in the United States, you think Africa's this big jungle thing, and it's not. So that's one of the perceptions too from media.
Right. Now we have a couple of comments here from
quite
Carlos,
a few.
and Carlos has got jokes again. He did make a comment about Bob Lee, who was the gentleman that got stabbed. He said that they were together that day, and later he was killed. And the guy who killed him. He said, okay, now this one I'm not sure. I think this is
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one either.
he said he legally purchased a knife, and now they have a ban to. They plan to ban knives in San Francisco. I do think that's the joke.
You gotta be.
And then he said all of NYC is dangerous. I think that's the joke. And then he also said something to the effect: use the Citizen app in NYC.
I don't use it,
and I don't know what that is. Is that like next
It's
door?
like
it's like
next door.
Yeah. But I installed it, and it just everything. I was like, if you see that, you go crazy. And I was like, I don't need that. So I was like,
right.
Right. You sometimes you talk yourself into the fact that the world is actually more dangerous than it is. And
right.
There's danger in the world, but I think there are an awful lot of great people that want to see you win and succeed and help and be happy more than there are people that want to, eliminate you from the face of the earth. That's what I think. It's just that those voices that want to eliminate are the loudest, and sometimes media amplifies those voices because they give them a platform by constantly covering these things.
Right. And then we have a comment from Mark Ward. He says, yes, people think that if you live in Chicago, you're going to be dodging bullets on the way to the store.
Yeah, see, same thing with Chicago's another large urban area where there's a lot of crime in different parts of the city, but it's not every part. It's not, if you're a tourist and you're coming to the tourist areas, you're pretty much okay. So
I wonder if this is part of, well, this is a whole nother subject, part of the training that should be discussed in training when you're training peace officers. Because if they have a perception that they are in more danger than they really are.
Well, if they live in the area, they should not have that perception. If you live in New York, you don't have that perception because you've lived here. So it's just a different environment if you live here. And also, fun fact, Mark, I used to live in Chicago. I forgot. I just remembered that. I think it was like for a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. I've jumped everywhere.
But
I've lived in Newark and I've moved around. Yeah.
Right. So I was just when Mark said Chicago, I was like, oh yeah, I used to because I worked for Nielsen. If you know Nielsen, and they're in Northbrook. Yeah, not really Chicago. It's like a suburb, but we went into the city. So I just remembered when Mark said that. I was like, bing. Oh, lovely city. Lovely city.
I need to get out more. This is and so that is your week in tech history, and then I think Terralina is coming up, and Mark said what, and you never called.
I didn't know you then. I forgot. I just remembered. I know it was, and it was in January. It was extremely cold.
And then, so she went back to New York. It's like, oh,
it was extremely cold. They don't call it the Hawk for nothing. It's
cold. Huh?
I still remember. I'm like, oh my God.
Those Great Lakes, any of those cities around the Great Lakes,
that wind
in the winter.
Yeah.
The lakes make everything that much colder, and it's cold and wet, like bone chilling. I'm telling you, when I was just up in upstate New York, my knee, the one I tore my ACL in, it started hurting. And then as soon as I got back to Florida, it was gone. I was like, what the hell is this? So those Great Lake cities, Chicago included, will really whip you into shape.
Carlos said, I'm still in NYC and he waiting on a call. I think that's TJ.
Oh, me. Yes. I forgot Carlos.
And then Linda says in Chicago for 2 months for her husband's kidney transplant. So maybe you can reach out to Mark and maybe I can get a coffee or something. Who knows?
Oh, that would be so cool. Look at the business connecting people across lines.
No other place has been such a blessing to Linda.
Wow.
And she said, I even made a thank you video for the wonderful people there.
See, this is an example of, and this is why I don't watch the news. At the 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I stopped watching because it's like you get those things implanted from, like Doctor said, in the media, from the news, that they go for the most. I'm like, I don't need to hear that. And then you hear stories like this where Chicago's a great place. The
Right.
people that live there. But you
Right.
don't hear those stories because on the news, they want to sell the, the
what is the
gotcha. It's a word for it.
Is the term, Dr. Tachi, if it bleeds, it leads?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. That is the thing. And I mean, it's like if you've ever sat in a meeting for a morning news cast and an afternoon one, there's a morning meeting with the assignment desk and the reporters and the producers of what is going to go on. Now, there's a lot more, obviously, that goes on than what we see in the news. But
right.
So that room, they're really the ones that determine what we see. And there's only X amount of time for a newscast, right? Or X amount of space in a newspaper. So they're making the decision as to what you see. There could be something equally as important, but maybe not as sensational. And so that story is going to be put on the cutting room floor for the story that is a little more, I don't want to say sensational, but a little more, quote, interesting or has more public interest.
Okay.
Right.
All right, got another comment here, a couple of comments from Carlos. He said, you can call me, but we can't meet because it's too dangerous. And then on a serious note, he says, anybody going to NAB? I launched my distribution business this Sunday.
Congratulations, Carlos.
Congratulations, Carlos. I would have been there, but I can't. I was actually supposed to present, but I can't. But yeah, congratulations. And can you do some live streaming, please, so we can see what's happening at NAB? Because that's usually what I would do. So I'm passing the torch to you this year, Carlos.
Okay, Carlos. We should be getting some notifications. So that means everybody needs to be following Carlos so that we get notified when he goes live.
Right.
Oh, and Mark has a comment here about Chicago weather. He says Chicago broke a 138-year record for warmth yesterday. Our high today is supposed to be 78. Our low on Monday night, 27 degrees. Okay, so that's a spread.
It is.
Yeah, it's extremely hot in the Northeast now. It's like yesterday we had 80. Like we had Florida weather yesterday and today.
I don't know. Y'all better give us our weather back because I don't know what's happening over here.
We can switch. I'll give it back gladly.
It was 47 degrees this morning.
Wow.
And windy. I'll take that.
It's 47. I'm like, come on. And Linda said, congratulations, Carlos. Yeah. So that is your week in tech history. Terry, Carolina, it's all yours.
Good morning, everyone. I wanted to share a video, one of them feel good things. Sometimes I usually have something that throws us into a into a spiral, but today it's just a little feel good thing about a young entrepreneur that I want to share with you from YouTube. A young 19-year-old girl who managed to get her products into a major retailer, and it's all about her and her family. And she's been in there for a while, and some of you may have heard of her products, but some of you may not. So I just wanted to share this with you. So if you'll stand by, I'm going to pull up the video. Da, da, da.
Standing by.
There we go.
Small business venture and loving every second of it. I used to go and walk the aisles of Target for years. And now she can walk into Target nationwide and actually see her products on the shelf.
This is our 10th year in business, and we plan to grow at least 1.2 million this year.
She's got an amazing future as a business, a woman and an entrepreneur in front of her.
My name is Xandra Cunningham. I'm 19 years old, and I'm the founder and CEO of Xandra Beauty, and this is my hustle. Xandra Beauty is a premier plant-based skincare company that I created for the educated and empowered girl on the move. I've been the CEO of my company since 2009, so this is our 10th year in business. Xandra Beauty started all when I was a 9-year-old girl obsessed with lip gloss, lip balm, And it really took to the point where my dad one day was like, no, I refuse to buy you anymore.
She asked for a lip balm. I was like, no, I'm not gonna keep buying you lip balm. Make your own. So here we are, working for my youngest daughter.
This is a family-run business, so I'm around friends and family all day.
I'm the mom of Xandra, and I'm also in charge of operations. I work on marketing.
I serve as both a COO and the CFO, well, acting COO. And also, I assist in the operations. Huh?
So you can't be the COO.
I
if
said
you
acting.
assist.
I said acting.
Okay.
That means I pretty much do everything. I'm just kidding.
Working with my parents has definitely been something that progressed because I'm the boss here, and then at home, they're the boss. We use 38% of it towards floor production, and it made our relationship actually really strong. So right now we are live at Xandra Beauty HQ, and we are inside our showroom, which is our first room when you walk in and you enter. If I had my own store, this will be a little feel of what it would look like. And I think it's my favorite part because we get to see like what the products look like all together. It's lit. Of course, we have our Target boxes. So these are the new ones that you'll find in your local Target stores across the nation. And this is just the front of HQ. Let's go see the rest. And this is where all the products are actually made. This is our sugar scrub station. So as you can see, all of the sugar scrub is being scooped inside the jar, measuring out, making sure you're getting exactly 8 ounces. We have all of our flavors of our mixing bowls. But the amazing thing of just showing the progression of the company is that we used to buy jugs of just olive oil like this when we first started out. And now we have drums of real oils. When the products are ready to go out the door, they come to fulfillment and we label the product and we package it up all nice, and then UPS comes to pick it up. So I want to share with you guys some of my favorite Xandra Beauty products. Of course, we have our lip and body balms. You know I love the lip balm. But the cool part about it is that you can use it for your bodies. And then, of course, our signature product, we have our hair and body souffle. This is hands down like one of our best products. It melts right into your skin. Look at this glow. Welcome back, beauties, to your girl Xandra Beauty's YouTube channel. This video, we're gonna do a freestyle on different clay masks. YouTube is a new thing for me. I just started my YouTube channel, letting my customers see what happens behind the scenes and how their products is created from just an idea. I feel like that was a new way that I wanted to put that out there and portray to my consumers so they can get to know me and I can get to know them and make it a conversation. And after that, package it all up and use it how you want to use it.
When she started to come out and do more public-facing activities and started traveling and speaking, people started to take her seriously. They started to realize that she is the young woman behind the brand.
We decided, okay, like we have this business, and what is it going to stand for? It can't just be all about making money. Like we have to have a company that means something. But even with all the highs and lows of learning and doing business at my age, I never really thought about the highs and lows of other girls like me.
My name is Christina Bishop. I am the owner of High Class Hair Salon in Buffalo, New York. The event that we're holding today at High Class Hair is a photo shoot for a new campaign that we're launching called High Class Beauties. We understand how important beauty is to teen girls. So I wanted Xandra to come out to this event today to talk to some of the girls and just be a part of the photo shoot.
So starting your business at 9, was you like, I mean, you were young though. Was it like was you nervous?
To be honest, no. I mean, because I was young and, you know, as a kid, that fear mentality of like, oh, this is not possible or whatever, that wasn't there. My parents made me feel beautiful and gave me that confidence at a young age. But a lot of other girls are not fortunate to have parents like that or have that support system. So I felt like it was my job to give that to them through the products, but also through me going speaking to see them and see that I'm a real person. It's really never too early to start a dream or a business or just start taking action on whatever you want to do. I feel like it's best when you don't have responsibility of like paying bills and stuff. So that's really your time to find out what your thing is. In 2025, 2030, I see this being a huge empire. I see Xandra across the globe. My hustle means the dedication, the determination, just having that feeling of success. That's a hustle to me. It's amazing. Go get you one. And wish I said then.
I did open my mic. So I wanted to share that because I thought it was really inspirational. And I see where Linda says, okay, tomorrow I'm making product videos. She's the bomb. Thanks for sharing this. Carlos is very nice. Thank you. But Mark says, how about mom? It's time for your performance review. Remember when I was 5 and you wouldn't let me have that Snickers bar in my Halloween candy? So, yeah, running a family business can be challenging. She's 19. Okay, I kind of hate her. Yeah, she is pretty glamorous.
Can I add in for a moment?
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
for sharing this. And I was watching. First of all, I was watching it on YouTube as we're doing this, and the packaging is just phenomenal.
Right.
I think it's absolutely packaging is everything. So even if the inside product inside is rubbish, the thing that attracts you first is the packaging. And I'm loving that she's also serious about the marketing aspect and getting out there via YouTube, because that media aspect is so important. I love the fact that she's so young, but I'm flabbergasted that this girl is from Buffalo. I was like, why would she be? Oh, they flew her out from Buffalo. Looking at the website, I think she's from Buffalo. And Buffalo, I don't want to say this, but I'm from there, so, partially, so I could say this. That's not the normal Buffalo way. So I'm really glad to see young people doing something there. And that is like, she is actually a model for young business around the world, because that's not something that we're taught, right? That's not something that going into business for oneself is not usually the way. It's like, go get you a good government job with benefit, and that it's not about starting your legacy through business. So I'm glad to see this, and I'm glad to see it at a young age. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
I said, I wonder if this is just, too much touchy feely stuff, but it was about entrepreneurship. And I wanted to share this because she was so successful and our products are now in Target. You know, that's a major retailer. And by now there's no telling where else her products are, probably in Ulta and some other places.
And Target is also the thing about Target. I mean, as well they should. The reason I like going there, even though you'll spend your whole check, is because they're very intentional about partnering with small businesses to put their products out there on a larger scale. And especially, they're also really pointed about doing that with women and entrepreneurs of color, which I think is a great thing, because it gives it gives people a stage to put it. If you have a product and it's like that, it's great. They'll put it out there for you and help with the packaging and marketing and thing. Because a lot of people, when they first come to Target, they have the product and their packaging may be just okay, but Target will work with you on improving it. So I'm wondering if this is what happened in that case, because her packaging is on point.
Right. And I was looking at the fact that she had a whole kitchen, if you will, to create all of her products. You know what I'm saying? She's doing the thing. It wasn't mass produced somewhere else where the ingredients changed. She's overseeing, along with her family, what's going in the lab back there. People are wearing the lab coats
and the fact that it's plant-based, I thought was interesting too.
Right. And that's so that means the shelf life is probably not going to be extremely long, but she, unlike the pink sauce lady, TJ can talk to about it. She had a system in place. You understand what I mean? She's not doing this out of her home kitchen. She
started there, I would think, because she sold bottles of olive oil.
What I mean is, she's not in her home kitchen. Some people want to save a nickel and try and package stuff from home, but she didn't do that. She got out there and did it right. And I'm sure it took a long time. And I'm kind of suspecting that the parents has some kind of background doing some stuff because they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They weren't. There was some oversight of wisdom. It wasn't just her calling the shots. It's her company, but she had some great support. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Terry.
That's what I had to share today, guys.
All right, we got TJ up. We got let me see if I got a comment down here. Okay. Oh, it is Mark's birthday, right?
Today is Mark's birthday. Happy birthday!
Hey,
Happy
Mark.
birthday, Mark. I wasn't sure, but it sounded like it from the way you were talking earlier. Right here, technically.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Mark.
birthday,
Happy birthday! We can't sing happy birthday. Can we sing it?
Okay, Dr. Tachi was singing, y'all.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Birthday, Mark.
Hey, do we have something in StreamYard?
To you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. There we go. Happy birthday, Mark.
Yay! I was looking in StreamYard to see if it was here. You can add, I didn't know you could drop music in here.
Oh.
You could have found, yeah, you can add. I was looking for like something birthday, and it said if we had some kind of sound, we could have dropped it in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. No, you just have to find something and upload so that you have
Right.
Well, I want to wish you a happy 25th birthday, Mark.
We're gonna have to upload a happy birthday song or something. So whenever somebody's birthday, we just play the little
song,
a little music.
Okay, we'll get that handle. Well, happy birthday, Mark. Okay, here's the deal. You got to celebrate for 30 days straight. The celebration has to last at least 30 days.
And with that, you've become an honorary African American, Mark. Congratulations.
Happy birthday music will get us soon. So just take it.
You're invited to the
take it raw, Mark.
Yeah, we'll get you some happy birthday music. We'll find some that will keep us in right standing.
Some royal free something, okay?
Yes.
There's a comment. Carlos said something. Did Carlos have a comment? Because I was looking at the Okay. Yeah. So yeah, he's right. So he was saying about the music in StreamYard, only upload music you have made or are authorized to use.
Right.
You have to.
Well, the happy birthday song, not the Stevie Wonder one, but the happy birthday song is in the public domain.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Well, Mark says, first of all, he's going to have to check his wine inventory to see if he can do 30 days straight.
Well, and when I say that, do something for yourself every day for 30 days, something to celebrate. 30 days, and this is for anybody, but do something for yourself.
Yeah.
For 30 days.
And another thing about the music, I know Facebook will do something if you have music or Facebook does something to your video. I forgot what it does.
Oh, if you use it'll block it or
it cuts it or mutes it Facebook does something when you play music. So
yeah, it'll mute it. Okay. TJ has the mic.
Okie doke. All right, we ready?
Yeah, we're ready. We're gonna seatbelt on because I think we're gonna need it.
Really?
TJ being too quiet.
Oh, wait, what was that? I didn't hear that. I was laughing.
We're gonna need a seatbelt because I got the feeling you got some stuff for us.
Oh, there's tons. There's lots. There's so much you can't include it. We'll be here all day. I try to get the best ones, but it's a lot. So we're gonna be all right. So I always start with Snapchat. Well, let me give the introduction. So this is this week. Social media news and updates. Okay, so Snapchat Oh, I had it queued up and I move it. So here we go. So Snapchat is expanding its music library. So they're using something called Snapchat Sounds. So it allows users to add music, sound bites from TV and movies, and their own audio clips in their messages, photos, or videos. So what they did is they've gone into a partnership with um, United Masters in the U.S., Buma Stemra in the Netherlands, SUISA, Suiza Digital Licensing AG, and its subsidiaries across the world, and other unidentified direct licensing music publishers. So this deal is it adds onto Snapchat's pre-existing relationship with other major independent record labels like Universal Music Group, DistroKid, and Sony Music Entertainment. I think we talked about this a while back. So what they've done is they've added on more music partnerships. So that means they have a bigger sound library. A big sound library means people will make content using these sounds and these clips, and of course more content is that's what the app wants. So they've gone in and done this. So here's announcement from Snapchat. These partnerships will add local artists' music to the Snapchat Sounds library, allowing Snapchatters more options to innovate and easily embed licensed music into their messages and snaps across Snapchat's platform and creative tools like augmented reality lenses. Okay. So that's what they're doing. And of course, they have sound, TikTok is, one of the leaders in sounds and using sounds to get people's attention on your video. So here comes Snapchat with that.
Okay.
All right. Now, LinkedIn. Let's move on to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is giving you a free verified badge. So now remember, Meta is like you get a verified badge, you have to pay, what is it, $14.99 a month?
Yeah.
And then you don't get anything.
You
in my opinion.
You can't even watch Disney Plus for that. I'm like, ooh.
They're not boosting my posts. So I'm like, well, why should I pay? But there's a good reason for the Meta verified. It has to do with impersonators. Like if you're a legitimate business owner or you're a brand and people impersonate you all the time, then you might want to do that. But otherwise, there you go. So LinkedIn has a new verification system. It supports Clear, CLEAR, Microsoft Entra, ENTRA, and work email verification for more than 4,000 companies. So this you'll be able to provide. You'll be able to prove your identity and where you work. So it uses the Clear to provide to prove your identity, verification of your workplace through an email address, and Microsoft Entra verified ID platform to obtain digital workplace IDs for free. So this is going to be free. It's not something that's paid. You have to use those steps to be verified if that's something that you care about. So the verification badge will be a green and blue check on profiles. So that's it. Yeah. So this will be rolling out at the end of April, initially to 2 million LinkedIn members. So LinkedIn verification. Any comments?
Carlos said, or use your license.
Oh.
I was thinking about that, but if you're not in the Clear system, because
right, LinkedIn is based on you work for a corporation, and then
and you have to have clearance to get in. So
we would have to see if you're a solopreneur or you own your own small business. We would have to see what kind of verification process they give for that. But this would be you work for Coca-Cola and they in the Clear system or whatever the other system, and you're just automatically verified through that as an employee of. So you get your verification. So we'll see what goes on with that.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about Artifact. I don't know if we've talked about this before. We haven't? Okay. So I think we might have mentioned, I don't, or maybe I had it in my notes. We didn't get to it. So Artifact launched in January. It's like a TikTok news or a US-based alternative to other personalized news aggregators like ByteDance's Tuatia, Toutiao in China, or Japan's Smart News. So the app combines a variety of trusted sources into one interface where your engagement and reading behaviors inform recommendation algorithms that help you discover the news you're most interested in. That was the technical example of what it is. Now, why is Artifact important? It's because of the founders. The founders are the two guys that made Instagram.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so that's why it's going back to photos.
Well, no, not Artifact is news. It's not photos.
Mm.
It's news stories. I installed it. I think because we might have talked about it in January. I installed it, forgot I had it, and I went back to it. To me, it feels like when I go to Google and I see news stories.
Okay.
Right. But see, what Artifact is doing is they're adding a new feature, social discussion component. They didn't have that before. You go in and let me pull it up real quick. Artifact.
So it's sort of like a Twitter space to discuss the news.
What was that? Because I got a siren going. What was that?
I said, so it's sort of like a Twitter space to discuss the news. Like
right, that's what they're putting on, because I'm going into it. So when I go into it, it gives me a feel of Google News, because when I go to my Google app, it shows me news based on the stories that I've liked or read. So when I go into Google, the app with the G, when you go to search, there's news stories. So I always look at the news stories, and then if I like something, I tap like, I save, I share. So the next time I come in, I see a lot of stories about social media and AI. So I'm like, Google already does that. Why would I want to use Artifact? But they're putting in something where it's in testing. It's a feature. It introduces a way for users to comment and engage in conversation around news articles they're reading on the app. So they're saying with the update, all Artifact users will now see comments on articles. So I haven't really looked yet. Let me do a quick look and see. I don't know if I updated it. So when I go in, it has like a TikTok feed. It's a TikTok feed, but it's not video or photos. It's news stories. And then the top it says for you, stocks, tech news, AI, science, gadgets, apps, finance. So those are the things that I like. So when I set it up, if you guys want to set it up, it might ask you what you're interested in. I don't remember.
Okay, so
I installed it in January and forgot about it.
Well, I'm going in here. Let me see. Okay. Oh, it does personalize your feed.
Okay.
Select 10 or more topics.
Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why is it all news? And because I couldn't remember, because I will install a new app and forget about it and go, oh yeah. When we talk about it, then I bring it back up. So I was like, let me bring it back up. And I was like, well, okay, it has all the stuff that I like. And I don't remember setting it up. So it does ask you the news that you want to.
Yeah, because it has most popular. Okay. The most popular are U.S. politics, tech companies, TV and movies, recipes, travel, celebs, and restaurants. And then they have lifestyle. Then they have health. And then they have tech and science, business and finance, arts, design and culture, sports.
Okay. So I don't, yeah. So now I'm looking at it. Now I see the news articles are there, and then it says under the title, it says the number of comments and how many people have read it. So now I see it. And then when I tap on the comments, it gives you a feed like comments, like Facebook comments, like they're one after the other.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is something new, the comment section. And they're saying that something about display names. I don't remember. I gotta go and see. But if you guys are setting it up, it says something about display names and people not fighting over the display names like they do on Instagram.
Well, this is interesting. They said add paid subscription. So if you have a subscription to like a New York Times or something, you can add your subscription so it comes up in the feed.
Right.
so you don't have to leave.
Right. They're going to keep you in the California hotel. Okay.
Okay, so they're talking about moderation because now they're allowing comments on the news stories, which Google doesn't have that. There's no commenting, there's just saving. So now that they have the comment feature available on these news stories in the app, they have to think about moderation. So they're saying
Yes.
they will give each new profile a reputation score that's based on community upvotes and downvotes on users' comments. Now that's a little bit like Reddit because you can upvote and downvote
Oh, I didn't
comments
know
on
that.
Reddit. So yeah, so this is similar to Reddit, and so it's going to be a actual visible score that's displayed to all users. The app will show a user's reputation score next to every commenter's display name and on each community member's profile. So they're saying the score will also play a role in determining how comments are ranked. Artifact will use an algorithm that weighs the user's reputation, the score of the particular comment, and a variety of other signals. Also, Artifact is going to use AI models to detect problematic content.
Okay.
So they'll flag content will be the flag content will be reviewed for compliance with Artifact's community guidelines and terms of service. If it doesn't meet those guidelines, it will be removed. Artifact says it will also ban profiles if necessary. So if somebody goes in and start acting crazy in the comments, they're going to ban you. Right now, the app is free to use, but they're going to think about monetization through revenue shares with publishers. They haven't decided anything yet because this is early days, and so since it's been available in late February, Artifact has seen nearly 200,000 installs. This is according to data from app intelligence firm Data.ai. All right, so what do you think about Artifact?
So far, I like the fact that I can come in here and be able to read what I want to read without a lot of other stuff. And just, I thought that was good. I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And I didn't have to set up a profile to go in and start reading.
Oh, okay. This is good.
Okay.
I like the idea of a space where I can go and just read. And if I want to make a comment, I don't feel like I'm going to be harassed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So why do you think this app has come out and now they're adding comments, and I'm pretty sure they're going to add other social kind of things because of Twitter?
The void with Twitter, yeah.
People are looking for places to go. And there's several places to go. This is
credible credible places to go.
Yes, credible. Yes, thank you. Credible. You're right. Credible places where targeted interest people that are interested in different things, and that's why I was like, well, Google Plus was the beginning of that, and then they closed it where people were gathering around interest-based topics. So here we are back to it now. Interest-based topics. People want to, if I want to talk about AI and stuff, I'm going to go to this app and see what people are saying about the AI articles in the comments. That's what used to happen. Well, it's still happening with Twitter, but we got the Twitter news. So you see, people want to congregate around an interest that they, things they're interested in, and they want to talk to people who are also interested in those things. So that, that's what's happening. A lot of things, I called it fractured. I think I said fractured a few times. So, people think, well, Twitter dies, where are we going to go? It's not going to be en masse to one big app. They're going to go different places because now there's a choice. There's a buffet now of choices. We talked about the Peanut app. Remember that app was is centered around women. And they go there and they feel safe in a community where they can talk about the topics they want, and they get to meet up locally.
Yes.
This is the a mom's group, the 30 in the 30s, the 30-year-old moms don't want to talk to the younger or the older, so they can all congregate and talk about things in their age group. which that's not a discriminatory thing. That's a self-selecting
But
thing.
yes.
That's self-selecting. We go and hang out where we want to hang out with the people we want to hang out because they talk about the things we like to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be more apps around that. Here's the Artifact, the Peanut. There's a couple others. I'm trying to remember. Carlos had a comment down there. I'm not sure if it's about this or.
Let's see. Carlos said I shared that with you guys a week ago.
Was it the Artifact or?
Yeah, Carlos, you got to tell us what you shared with us.
Because I remember I think we talked about it, and it was like, because it's still in the beginning stages. It just came out, and I got a text. All right, and I remember installing it and just forgetting about it. I remember that it was the two founders, the two guys that founded Instagram, and then when they sold to Zuckerberg, they stayed for a few years, and then they got mad and left, and there was a big mess about that.
Whoop-de-whoop. Mm-hmm.
Right. There was a big whoop. All right. So that's Artifact. Check it out and use it and let's see what you think about it.
It would be nice to have. I like the idea of having news all in one location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and see, I'm using Google for that. And you train Google and you go in and you get news stories about the things that you like. I don't get other stuff. I mean, there's some, there might be one or two things, politics or whatever, the other stuff. But most of the time, because Google says, well, you like that. And then also the Google app will ask you, like, are you interested in this? Do you want to see more? Do you want to see less?
It does ask you, do you want to see more?
Right. So that's what I like. And because I've been using it so long, I just forgot that you set it up that way. So that's what this Artifact seems to be doing, but they're putting the comment feature in. So let's see how that goes, because they've got moderation tools in place, which Twitter did not for a long time. That was one of the complaints.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go to YouTube. YouTube adds new reminder button for upcoming live streams. There's a new notify me call to action button on upcoming live stream listings. This will help creators maximize viewership of their broadcast by keeping their fans updated on in-progress streams. So this is because YouTube users have expressed an interest that they want that they want a button that they get notified, because you can, people say subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notify button to get notified, but sometimes you don't get those notifications.
True.
I haven't gotten some for some channels. So this is when you go into YouTube, there'll be a notify button under, because when you not preview, when you schedule a live stream, it goes on to your channel and it goes into the feed. Mm-hmm. But now there's a button under there that says notify me. And I've seen it. I think I've seen it. So I've clicked on it. Like if it was something I wanted to be reminded, I click. Social Media Examiner, they do a lot of live streams. So I've gone in and seen something for Social Media Examiner, and I've clicked the button and gotten notified. So this will make it easier to stay on top of broadcast times, ensure people don't miss out on the live streams, gets more people watching your live streams, gets more engagement. Okay.
I love this because you all know I'm an avid YouTube watcher, and really for me, YouTube is the closest thing to the old school appointment TV. Like I don't have to be on, to watch a certain show at a certain time because I know I could just watch the replay. But for some reason, when people are live in the moment on YouTube, you want to be there in that moment because you can ask questions, you can engage. It's different from what television is. And so I feel like, oh, how did I miss this person live? And I can certainly watch the replay, but it feels different. So I think YouTube did a good thing with this.
I agree. I love YouTube. And I started doing more YouTube in 2016. You all know why. I don't have to mention why. I turned my TV off and I started watching YouTube because it was sanity. So yes, YouTube. And we talked about YouTube a lot. I said that this is the place where we need to start focusing more on growing an audience because they're adding tools bit by bit Also, YouTube has a new CEO. I forgot his name. They're going to be doing new things to get users to watch creators' channels. So these are some of the things that they're doing. I'm expecting more great things from YouTube. So if you've ever wanted to grow or start a YouTube channel, this is it. I feel like this is the time. Because because of the Twitter stuff, because of the TikTok news, people are looking around, going, where can I've seen stories about, oh, my business is on TikTok. What am I going to do? I'm like, there's like all of these other apps. Like TikTok is the only game in town. No, it's not. It just happened to be the most popular because of Jay-Z. Now we're people are looking around to go, well, where do I go? You might want to go and think about where your audience is hanging out. How about that? That app.
Wow, I'm still puzzled that people's whole strategy for social media is tied up on one app.
It is.
I mean, doesn't make any sense. And here's the thing: if you don't understand social media, then you need to hire a Terry to help you with it, because somebody, if you have help, you'll never have your entire strategy wrapped up in just TikTok. And so you need to hire someone. Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, because I read all, especially because the TikTok news and Twitter stuff, and people are just panicking, henny penny. Oh, the sky's falling. What am I? I saw in one of the TikTok stories, a woman who had a business locally, wherever I think it was Montana, because it's Montana. Is it Montana? One of the places we're gonna talk about. Oh, my what am I gonna do? My business is on TikTok, and I'm like, lady, this other, you think it just everything just started with TikTok? We've been doing social media since 2006, 2007. Hello, this not the only app. So I think it has to do with people who, and not to knock it, it's small business owners who don't have time. You don't have time to be everywhere. And we say don't be everywhere, but you need to be where your audience is. That takes a little work in the beginning, which people don't want to, they may not want to do. You got to do some work, some research in the beginning. You don't have to do it all the time. Just do it that one initial time. Now we got AI tools to help. So it's easier today than it was last year this time. So you got to figure it out and go, well, let me go over there. It might be YouTube. You don't know. But you're all TikTok, this and that. What am I going to do? I have a right to have TikTok. No, you don't. You don't have a right to TikTok. It's, this is the discussion that's going on. You have a right to build your business using the communication tools we have available today. And I'm sorry if you feel that way, that, oh, I put all this work into TikTok. Now what do I do? You're a business owner. What do you do when anything goes down?
You better share.
What do you do? You go, oh, I guess I'm out of business. No, you go and fix it or buy the new tool or whatever. Well, I guess I better go over here and start doing this. Or like Dr. Chadi brought up, it's like you hire somebody. You either gonna do time, you're gonna spend your time or your money, and you decide which one it is. So, all right, rant over. It's just reading these stories of people and acting like TikTok is the only game in town because they invested this time into it. I'm like, well, start over again. And if you're a business owner experienced, you started over several times, right? So
yes,
get back on the bike. All right, let's move on to Lemon 8. We talked about this one a few weeks ago. Lemon 8, Lemon 8. I know people are saying lemonade. No, Lemon 8, the number 8. So Lemon 8 is this new app from ByteDance that the last story we talked about it was they were paying influencers over on the UK to promote it because of the talk of the TikTok ban in the US. So Lemon 8 has been installed 17 million times globally since its launch in March 2022. So it's not a new app. It's just that it's being pushed because of the thing we just said about the panic about TikTok. So it's been installed 650,000 times in the past week and a half in the US alone. Japan is Lemon 8's biggest market. They represent 36.5% of the lifetime downloads. The app has a sizable following in Asia and Southeast Asia. That makes sense because it is ByteDance, which is a Asian company, Asian owned or China owned. Let's be more specific. So the app Lemon 8, it caters to a Gen Z audience, features a mix of TikTok like videos and Instagram like photos. It has a customized for you feed. It shows personalized recommendation. It has a following feed that shows posts from accounts that you might want to follow.
Well, I
Lemon.
have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you, or maybe I should let you finish, but I have a question when you finish. Go ahead.
Okay, just a few more. So Lemonade has an aesthetic, a feel. It's more artsy, colorful, and aspirational than TikTok. The app resembles Pinterest more in style. So a lot of the content is centered around health, beauty trends. It caters to a younger female audience, like makeup tutorials, nail arts, home decor, inspiration. That's why you have the Pinterest talk. So but see, that just means that if you're not in those industries, it might be an opportunity for you to get over there and to get the jump on your competitors. But here's the deal: Lemon 8 is owned by ByteDance. So why are we like, oh, TikTok is being banned, let's jump over to Lemon 8? It's just you're switching boats. You're still in the same water. You're just switching boats. So so there a lot of people may not know that it's linked, that the ByteDance link is there. Of course, ByteDance wants to downplay that. So there are listed. So this is a little detail. They're listed in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store as Heliophilia Pte Ltd. So they're not listed as ByteDance. They're hiding behind another
Shell
Shell
Corporation.
Corp. Yes. The ByteDance top lawyer represents TikTok. He says, we're obviously going to do our best with the Lemon 8 app to comply with U.S. law and to make sure we do the right thing here. Are they? I don't think so. But that's what's going on with Lemon 8. Okay. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Lemon 8 in the last week or so. That's why we're bringing this up. Okay, go ahead, Terralina.
Well, I was going to say, if it's the same company, are we playing whack-a-mole here?
Yes.
And
remember, Gen Z does not care about that at all.
Okay, but if in fact Apple is and the Google Play Store are concerned about not continuing to allow people to download.
Well, we're not there yet. Now, Google and Apple haven't weighed in at all. There is more governmental things that are going around, and they're talking about a ban. And I said here that it won't be a ban. You just won't be able to find it. I don't know if you want to call that a ban, but see, that's where the government would go to Google and Apple and say, okay, this is against this rule, that rule, whatever law, rule, or whatever. So it has to be removed, and they'll remove it. Until that, there is still available to download.
Dr. Tachi, go ahead.
That would be called like a shadow ban, basically.
Yes.
And the thing is too, if we look at, it's not just the social platforms per se. There are other ways that ByteDance is creeping into the populace as well. CapCut, which is a hugely popular editing tool for people who make TikTok videos and other types of videos, that's owned by ByteDance.
Yes.
And, if we're concerned about information, CapCut can take your information too. So, like you said, Gen Z, the people that this is aimed towards, don't care about privacy. So it works really well to gather that kind of data because they don't really care. And they don't for anything. So, but
no, you're right. I think we mentioned that if you've deleted TikTok, you need to delete CapCut. Because that's and you're right. A lot of people don't know that ByteDance owns CapCut, but it's an app that Gen Z loves. So they don't care. That's why we've had all these downloads of Lemon 8 because
Mhm.
here's the panic. Oh, the old people in Congress are going to take our favorite toy away from us. So let's run over to the Lemonade, which is being pushed by ByteDance to pay influencers to talk about it. But they're
Okay.
not pushing this is a ByteDance owned app too, which you're in the same boat. You
Mhm. Mhm.
haven't changed anything. And and like Dr. Tati said, Gen Z does not care. It is an app they like. If it's something they like, they'll use it. Now, talking about this, I was on LinkedIn having a discussion about Be Real. Remember that app last year? Be Real was
Yes.
the whole sensation. This
Mhm.
year, this summer, nobody's talking about it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Ooh, it's gone. So that's what happens. Is like Gen Z starts using something and they go, okay, we like it, and then well, this doesn't really fit me, and they just drop it and move on. But TikTok, they love that. That fits them perfectly. CapCut, that fits perfectly. Here comes Lemonade. We're gonna try on this fit, like they call it, outfit. We like this fit, so we're keeping it. I don't care who
Mhm.
made it. But with Be Real, it was like, oh, this little feature that didn't really work because the feature is now in Instagram and now in TikTok. TikTok took it too. So it was like that wasn't gonna survive. That was like a flash
Mhm.
in the pan. And we talked about the Be Real thing because they didn't want to monetize and something else ads, and how are you gonna survive? So they're not surviving.
And quiet as it's kept, how has anybody used Candid now in Instagram?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Is it still there?
But here we are. See, Gen Z likes these apps. ByteDance knows that. That's why. And there's another one called Clapper. I think it's ByteDance owned or China owned. It's called Clapper. I didn't really look at it, but that's another one that they're going. That the Gen Z, they're having conversations. Oh, if TikTok goes down, where are you going? Well, I'm going to Lemonade. No, I'm going to Clapper. So they're going to the other boat, but it's still the same boat. It's still stamped made in China. They're on the boat. They don't care. They don't care. So what do we do? And I don't hear anybody talking about Lemonade in the way that they're talking about TikTok as far as the ban.
No.
So, because do you think Lemonade, the data and all of this, where's that at? They don't care. Gen Z doesn't care. So that's why we got to talk about it, because the older folks they don't even know what Lemonade is. They haven't heard of it.
That's what I mean by whack-a-mole.
Yes. That's a perfect way to describe it, because Gen Z is like, well, let's move over here because they're talking about TikTok. So the old people in Congress are talking about that. They don't even know about Lemonade. Let's go over there. They don't care who made it. Let's just go over there. Mark has a comment.
Mark jokes. Terry, you got that?
Yeah, he has. He says Gen Z sponsored by China, and he says, I'm going to set up a camera and live stream my aging because they have stuff like people eating breakfast. Okay, where are you going to go when TikTok shuts down? He says, I'm going to Disneyland.
I'm going to Disney. So that's the dilemma we have. So that's what's happening.
Like you said, I don't think education, just the fact that,
but
be
they don't
aware
care.
that this is blah, blah, blah.
They don't care.
If they don't care, I mean.
That's like, okay, a kid that doesn't care about learning or reading or what, how do you get them to care? They don't care. How do you get them to care? That's what the teachers are fighting. Like, how do you get them to care? So that's the dilemma. All right, let's move on. Microsoft Bing has introduced Chat GPT answers in search results. They have an update that will put Bing AI. Okay, so this is what they have written, which I thought was confusing. Instead of featured snippets, in some cases, user will now see Bing AI answers to their queries with prompts to continue the conversation with Chat GPT.
Oh, so they're gonna put you over. You start over here, and then they're gonna migrate you over there for more detailed stuff.
So they're saying the answers will include a notice So when you ask it something in Bing, the answers will include a notice indicating they are summarized from X number of sources and webs with links to all the referred sites. Now, if you're not using Bing, this is what it is. Bing is a search engine and it's using the AI. So when you search for something, it acts like a search engine, and it brings you a chat GPT-4 or it is GPT-4 answer back with the sources that it may have gathered and used to give you the answer, if that makes sense. So you
Right.
see the link to say HubSpot or Buffer or CNN. It gives you the link.
Okay.
ChatGPT doesn't do that because it's not connected to the internet like that yet. They're working on it. So that's what you get. So now they're saying that it's going to, one of those links, instead of to a website, it will be to ChatGPT. So the person that wrote this article, they said the update could be a deal breaker for independent content creators, as Bing would be summarizing content from multiple sources and presenting it as a single answer, which would discourage users from clicking through to those individual websites. So they're saying this could be result in reduced website traffic, which would be problematic for content creators relying on ad revenues and paid views.
You mean the blog people who have you read the little thing at the top and keep you going until you get the recipe that you went in there for?
Yes. And I need like 2.
Okay. So we got a comment here. Fred, did you know that you can add closed captions during the live rooms too? Cool. Hey, Fred, how you doing? He is over here on Clubhouse. Yes. Then we got a comment from Mark. He says, remember parents? That's what they used to be for. So let's see. Now, the Chat GPT, the AI, you can now start using AI is becoming in more and more prevalent in things. I just saw something on YouTube I got to go check out, which is talking about using AI as a virtual assistant.
Well, you know something, I saw something on the news this morning talking about, I think it was on 60 Minutes, where you could get AI to create a video or a picture, just telling it words. Like it asked it to put pink taxis on Fifth Avenue in New York in a picture, and it did it. It created that. Or it asked it to make a video of a flying, I think it was a flying sheep or something.
So this you're saying about Bing?
Oh no, this was just AI.
Talking about AI.
And
the what.ai?
Just AI in general. It is now doing more things, but continue on with what's happening. Oh, so
do you need another minute?
Yes. So here's the thing. I tried out an app that had where you can create a video. Like I wanted it to create a video of something.
Yes.
And it went and got pictures and stuff. I just didn't like the quality of the pictures that they chose.
Okay.
So I guess I would have to tell it where to get the video footage. But it went and got video footage and put together a video commercial for me. I just did not like the image.
What tool was this again?
This is a tool that I found on AppSumo where you could, it's AI was creating a video.
AI generated video from the text. Now, see, this is the thing, and we talked, I think I might have mentioned it about the generative AI. I like to work more with the text than the video, not video, imagery, because you have to, the prompts you have to create to get what you want, you got to spend so much time with it. So I'm waiting for them to make that process simple. And then you've got DALL-E, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, this and that, and they all work differently. If you take one prompt and put them in all of those different places, you'll get different imagery. And I'm not really happy with, like Fran said, it comes back. I'm not really happy with what the image looks like. But I've seen people go in and make AI imagery that looks great. And I'm like, but they spend a lot of time crafting the prompt. So I like working with the text better because it's, it's easier. But
Right.
with the imagery, with the image, creating an AI image, there's so much fine tuning you got to do with the prompt. You got to tell it a negative prompt and you got a positive prompt. Some of the things, the hands don't come back looking, or always notice one eye looks different from the other if you're doing a person. So I don't have enough bandwidth to deal with it yet. The image side of it.
Dr. Tachi?
So I think the operative thing is that people need to decide whether or not, number one, if they want to spend the time to sit down and craft a prompt that will generate what they're actually looking for. Number two, if they have the time to do that on repeated tries, because almost never is the first try going to be exactly what you want. So, I think there is a whole thing of, is it just better at some point then to hire somebody to do what you need? I mean,
right.
It probably is going to be cheaper, but then when you think about the time you spend to craft what you want, you've spent time to do this with any type of AI platform, and then you still have to go hire someone to do your video or your images, right? Because AI doesn't quite have it yet. So I think there's this weighing that you have to do. Is this going to cost me more money in terms of my time to get what I want?
Right. But see, that's why they have the new job frontier called prompt engineer, where people are getting all this money to do exactly what you just said about, they know how to get the answer that you need by creating the prompt. So that's like a whole new job area that's popping up. So
Wow.
and again, it's time versus money. I'm just like, I'm waiting for them to make this process as easy as ChatGPT, because ChatGPT, you go to it and you say, give me this, and it gives you this. You don't have to, you might have to fine tune it one or two times, and once you get the hang of it, you're swinging. With the image side of it, it's like I can't spend that much time on it now. So you guys have got to bring it to the point where it's like ChatGPT interface, boom, it gives me what I want the first or second time. It's like I'm spending 10, 20 times trying to get something that looks like a person or looks realistic, or because some of it looks horrible, and people are just putting it on their blogs and articles, and I'm like, that thing looks ugly. But it's AI generated. So what? It's ugly. I don't want to see that. So that's how I feel about it. I've seen it on some people's blog articles, and this was generated with the. I'm like, but it's ugly.
Don't tell us that you didn't clean it up before you put it
The
out there.
baby's ugly, lady. Guy. Your baby is ugly, but you're so proud of it. But they want to tell us the baby's ugly. I'm sorry.
In my wheel basket, because people. Man, that's a new job. Cleaning up AI.
Yes.
It was more than 30 people who emailed me asking me to clean up stuff or asking me about AI because they tried to grab something real quick for something they were doing from an event. Oh, I need a flyer to do this, or I need a flyer to do that. It was so reminiscent to where when I was in newspaper, I was in the ad department, and when newspaper industry started dying down, they cut the advertising department. A lot of newspapers did this, and they went to India. They went to a company, and they had to do the same thing with people in India. It's thinking that they were going to get these same type of quality ads back. No, when every time they got an ad back, they had to clean it up. It's the same thing with this AI.
I agree.
And from there, a lot of people just make it. They put a lot of people are putting all their eggs in an AI basket. It's not that.
I agree. You shouldn't put all your eggs in the AI basket. It's not ready, and the image part of it is definitely not ready. And you're right. I remember the with the newspapers and the ad situation. I remember that. But what you have to do now is, as a business owner, you have to say, I don't have time to spend days trying to get an image. I'll either, maybe I'll try to learn it later, or I'll hire somebody who knows to do that. And that's where the job industry now with the prompt engineer, the person that knows how to clean it up or knows how to write the correct prompt to get what you want on the first or second try, not the 20th try. So that's what I'm saying. With me personally, with the AI imagery, I love all that process, but it's hit or miss. I'm like, I'm trying to get stuff. I don't have time for that. So I put that to the side, and I'm like, okay, I concentrate on GPT-4 and getting the text prompt. So, but that's where things are now. We're in this part where it is the Wild West, early days, frontier days. We're building our log cabin on AI. Everybody doesn't know. There's no expert. I see people, oh, the AI expert, the AI guru. No, you're not. We're in the beginning stages. Say you know more than the average person. Yes, that's great. But you're, the expert? No. So,
Fred?
The thing that I always tell people when they come to me, AI is collection, gatherer, collaboration of information. It does not evoke feeling.
Right.
So, hey, ad for this, I need an ad for that. Everybody that comes to me, they use the same phrase. Hey, Fred, can you look at my ad because I'm not feeling this? Well, you put it from AI. It's not going to give you the feeling that you want.
Right.
So that's why I tell them this is a good starting point, but it's still a human connection in this thing that it will not have.
Right. You have to use your knowledge and experience to take what it is. It's clay, and you got to mold it into Michelangelo's David or something. And I've noticed on ChatGPT now, okay, I'm not gonna bring it up, but there's something at the bottom that says about not bring. Let me see real quick. It's warning us now that it's not what's coming back could be false. Let me see if I can bring it up.
I have it up here.
It's at the bottom. You read it?
Let me go in here and spin this from the beginning. Go ahead and continue to talk.
I got it. Okay, this is what it says now. ChatGPT March 23rd version. ChatGPT may produce inaccurate information about people, places, or facts. That's what it tells you now. So.
Oh, so this is like Wikipedia. You need to check what you.
But
read.
They don't want to be liable.
It was always like that. People were taking it. We saw it. Remember, when we first started talking, it was like people are taking it and copying and pasting and running, and going, "Woo! I wrote a book or I did this." No, it's not like that, because it brings out hallucinations. Because, like Fred said, this thing does not have emotions. It's ones and zeros. It's computer programming. It doesn't have a feeling. It tries to satisfy the equation. That's all it's doing. So if you ask it to give me this, it's going to say, I'm going to give it to you. It might not be fact. That's on you, human, to fact check this thing.
Okay, if I could add to this for a moment, absolutely, all of this is correct. I think going back to the point of time versus money, or money and time versus each other, I think that, so we said, all right, the prompt engineer is now a new thing. But if I have to pay you to interpret what I need to say to put into something that may or may not come up right, why don't I just bypass you and pay for the thing I need in the first place? So to me, that's adding an extra layer of, unless it's writing, unless it's some of the things, but in the fact of, especially with video, I don't think it's worth it. I think it's like either learn how to do it yourself or hire somebody to do that. Because the AI video, not only is it not ready now, but you spend too much time trying to get it ready, and then you're asking another third party to help you. It's not at that point.
Exactly. I agree about the video. I agree with you 100% about the video. It's not ready. And the imagery is not ready for prime time. But it's going to get there. It's not there now, but it's going to get there.
And you know what? I'm sorry. Even if it does get there's something about the human experience. You can teach AI to do certain things and it can learn, but there's never a point where it's like, okay, this shot was in the moment and I got that.
Right.
The water droplet was there.
Right. No, it's never gonna be that, because you can look at, I look at AI imagery now and I'm going like, I can tell it doesn't, there's something missing. There's a component missing. And it's going to be to the point where, right, we're going to be at the part where there's going to be two roads. One where people that care about that will go on that road, and one people that don't care will go on that road. Just like the thing with Gen Z, that they don't care about China and apps and this and that. They just want to do what they want to do. So we're going to be in that world where there's two lanes, and I'm just saying that we don't know what it's going to be from this standpoint right here. And a lot of people, I see a lot of people saying that they know this and they know that and they're the expert. I'm like, no, don't do that, because this is the beginning of stuff. It's the beginning. So
like when those students, when I talk to them, that they have to learn how to tell their own story, because if they don't, AI and ChatGPT and all AI out here will write the story for them about them, and they won't like it. And until they experience that,
right,
won't like it. You got to write your own story.
Yes, exactly. I agree. All right, so I got a few more things. Let me get to Microsoft Bing. So they have they've added the chat bot in your keyboard in iOS with SwiftKey. So they've integrated it into the SwiftKey app and lets users chat with the bot directly from their mobile keyboard or edit their communications to polish their tone. So it's going to be a part of SwiftKey on Android and iOS. So look out for that. Now, one more thing about ChatGPT. There's a new player in town called Amazon. Amazon is now swimming in the
really?
GPT-4. Yes, Amazon. Yes. So, but they have a different tactic. They're not user in on the user side. They're more in the background. Because remember, Amazon has they run cloud computing.
Yeah.
And they have something called SS3. I forgot what the 3 S's are, but it's they give you storage. And if you ever need storage like Dropbox and stuff like that, Amazon does it. You can get it for free. You get 5 gigs. It's very technical. I will say that. It's not easy like Dropbox. It's very technical, but they do have storage space that's free. 5 gigs. So, and you can make as many accounts as you want. But what they're doing is they're going to put this on their Amazon Web Services cloud platform. It's called Amazon Bedrock. This product will allow customers to boost their software with AI systems that create text similar to OpenAI's ChatGPT chatbot. So they don't want to be left behind. So the Amazon CEO put a letter to shareholders this week. He said they're investing heavily in large language models and generative AI. And they've been working on their own LLMs for a while now. So they're getting into the business. But they are doing it for the developer end, the developer side, not the user side. So you'll see this if you are Amazon AWS customer, cloud computing, cloud services. So we will see that. So Amazon is getting into ChatGPT. All right, on to Twitter. A few with Twitter. Twitter no longer exists. Did you hear that this week?
No.
I heard it from you.
Yes, Twitter no longer exists. Twitter, the company, Twitter LLC or Twitter Inc. or whatever it was called when Jack Dorsey and those guys owned it. Elon Musk bought it, and now it is not a company. It is a part of Musk's X Corporation. He's trying to build a super app called X. It's going to be like China's WeChat. All right, so let's get into it. Now, Twitter as a product is still working. That's what you're using when you go to twitter.com or you use the app, you're using Twitter, the product. But Twitter, the company, no longer exists. Now, I had some theories about it because, there's some severance packages for ex-Twitter employees that come for Twitter Inc. Twitter Inc. doesn't exist anymore. So what's going on with all of those people? We'll start to hear if something's going on where he's dropping the agreements or not agreeing to whatever was agreed with Twitter. We'll start hearing that because people will say, well, hey, what happened to my this and that? So that's my feeling, but it hasn't. Nothing has been said yet. But he has gotten rid of Twitter Inc. and now it's called X Corp. And this came out because there was a California lawsuit against Twitter and by some conservative activist, Laura Luma. I don't know the details, but this is what happened. So remember, Elon Musk owns it. He could do whatever he wants. So he decided to do that. But he wants to make X similar to China's WeChat. WeChat is a super app owned by Tencent Holdings, and it's used for everything from payments and booking events, tickets, managing social media, everything, shopping, live chat, everything in China. So it's like a super app. He wants to build that over here. So that's what they think he's going to do.
Yeah, Fred says that NPR has frozen its efforts on Twitter.
I was just getting ready to say that. So now NPR has suspended Twitter use because Elon Musk labeled them as U.S. state affiliated media. Well, no, they were labeled on Twitter as U.S. state affiliated media. Musk change the label to government funded media. So that kind of got under their skin. So they made a statement. NPR's organizational council no longer be active on Twitter because the platform is taking actions that undermine our credibility by falsely implying that we are not editorially independent. So they also said we're not putting out journalism on platforms that has demonstrated an interest in undermining our credibility and the public. Oh, I just said that. Okay, so that's what's happening. So they're saying that the actions by Twitter by changing their label is making them seem as if they are government
propaganda.
Yes, propaganda, the voice of the government, which they're not. They're independent. So they got mad with that and they left. Go ahead.
But see, I don't know if people that's actually very dangerous because NPR is one of the few sources we have for independent media that actually get in the trenches and try to do a lot of things and really take journalism very seriously. So the fact that now you have a faction with arguably political motivations that does that, it actually does undermine the credibility of what they do, making it seem like what they report is because they are government funded, which is not the case. Now they do receive some not as an entity, but several different shows do receive some grants from like the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and things like that, but those are all private funders.
Right. Right. And I think they said that percentage was very small, the shows that got the but see, and you're right. This is a dangerous signal to say that okay, now we're changing their label on Twitter, which nothing has changed with NPR, but Musk is doing it. So it's like NPR is like, well, we're not gonna stay here and stand for that. We don't need to be here because this is a sinking ship anyway. It is. It's a clown car. It's a car that got gas in it, and when the gas runs out, it's gonna stop running. I'm still waiting for that car to run out of gas. Twitter. This is one more thing. Getting rid of Twitter. He also on the building. He took white paint and painted over the W on the sign on the building, so it doesn't say Twitter. It says TITTER. So it's all of these things that it's just like it's a slow, sad song to the end of the cliff. Thelma and Louise, they're going over the cliff, and that's the end. So I don't know. I'm not paying attention to Twitter. I mean, these are some of the things that I see, but I wrote Twitter off last year as a viable thing or tool for social media. As far as building revenue and building a brand and building a business, it's just not there. I mean, you could be over there for fun and laugh, and I go over there to see, well, okay, Black Twitter is still hanging over there. What are they talking about? Or AI people are still there. They're talking about it. But other than that, it's just doesn't exist to me. And it's just like every week there's something that Musk does, and I'm going, dude, you're just pushing us out the door, which is what he wants. I don't know, but this is what's going on. with Twitter. One more thing with Twitter, they now you can now tweet 10K characters. Twitter Blue subscribers can now post 10K character tweets. You can write tweets up to 10,000 characters long.
Wow.
You can bold and italic. If that's your bag, good, have at it. Enjoy.
Well,
Yeah, is Twitter Blue?
Twitter Blue, yes, you have to be a subscriber.
well, if your audience was originally people who liked 149 characters, what's up?
What it is that the tweet, it still shows 280 tweets, 280
Oh,
characters.
okay.
There's a more button. And when you click more, you see a blog post. I've seen it.
Okay.
And if I'm following somebody that I want to hear, like Roberto Blake, I will tap on the more because he's somebody I want to hear from.
Okay. I get it.
It's like
not
a blog
just one
post,
big
but it's
block
collapsed.
of text.
It's collapsed. Yes. So
Mhm.
if journalists are still there tweeting and they are paying for Twitter Blue, they have access to whoever pays for Twitter Blue can write blog posts over there. But you see an initial tweet of 280 characters and you'll see a more button. But
yeah, here's the thing. More and more journalists, no journalist that's worth their weight in gold and that takes journalism seriously is actually going to start to use Twitter or continue to use Twitter as part of their major strategy. Because for up until now, most journalists, the major strategy was Twitter. That is where you put your updates. That is what you did. It's short, sweet, and concise. But when you start having factions that are messing with the sanctity of what that means, it's better for you as a full-fledged journalist to take it elsewhere. I'm like, again, I don't pay attention to Twitter so much anymore. And really, I need to shut off my account because I'm like, all right, well, are there enough Twitter spaces that I'm still in where they're having critical conversations that I need to be there?
Right.
I don't know that that's the case. So it's moving more towards I need to dismantle my Twitter.
Right. And you see with NPR, was it the New York Times, the LA Times, all these news organizations saying they're not paying for this, they're moving away, they're shutting it down. So it's a slow march. And it's like we can't let go of it. But I'm just saying, as a thought, I don't even think about. I'm like, oh, Musk did. I'll see the news. Musk did something. I just, to me, that's how I treat it. And I'm like, okay, I file it in the file cabinet of I don't care anymore because when he bought this thing, he broke it, and people are still playing with the broken toy. That's what it is. So, I don't try to figure out what he's doing anymore. I don't really care.
I read a couple articles where
I don't care what he does.
Publishers are starting to, and I was part of it when social media first kicked in, newspaper and all this. They put all their eggs in one basket. They start putting stuff on everywhere, like on the internet. Social media.
And this is the TikTok story I just said about the business owner who was crying about, oh, I'm on TikTok. What do I do? And I'm like, that's not the, it's like with AOL and the internet. Remember when people were on AOL? I was like, there's an internet. You don't have to use AOL. But they're so herded, the herd mentality of, I got to use AOL to get on the internet. Like, no, the internet is out there. You don't need a gatekeeper. You don't need that. So people are like, well, I need to be on Twitter, or I need to use Twitter, or I need to use TikTok. No, you don't. You don't have to use social media at all, really.
Now you're gonna have publishers trying to bring people back to their platform to sit on social media because I was waiting for this. When Facebook started, they had this deal. Hey, we'll pay the publishers this. I knew it wasn't gonna be enough. Right. Now Facebook said, well, we're not gonna push news anymore like this.
Yeah, that's exactly what Meta did.
Same thing.
Yeah, so, that's exactly what Meta did. They brought all the news publishers in saying this is going to be a great place to put your news stories and whatever. And now they took the toy away. They took the tool away. And now what do? Okay. So let's go ahead.
Audience with your own platform.
Right. All right. So talking about Meta has one thing. They have a new animated story generation process. So they have a ready-made story tool that will create stories for users based on photo and video data. So they have this new feature that makes it easy to create stories on Facebook. That's what's going on with Meta. And Instagram has some new features for a creator's marketplace, and they're trying to get, do things with the creator marketplace. Again, Meta's another company that I'm just like, I'm not excited about. But this is what's going on. They have a new creator marketplace, a hub designed to help brands discover and reach out to creators about partnership and campaigns. So they have a new API to allow the brands to connect creators with the creators. So they have this new area called Creator Marketplace. And the last thing, TikTok. Let's talk about TikTok real quick. TikTok is launching a new push on in-stream shopping. I don't know why, because it's not working. Live stream shopping. Remember, that was the big deal, and everybody dropped their feature. So TikTok is going back with a new push to boost shopping in the app. So they're inviting selected retailers to join this in-app shopping push, and I don't know what's going on with that. So they're trying to revive the in-stream shopping on the app. Also, TikTok has launched a gift like video sticker for direct message. If you like that kind of thing, you can make your own sticker in direct message. Supposed to make it more fun and engaging. And here's the big story with TikTok. Montana is close to becoming the first state to completely ban TikTok. They have a Senate bill, and it has bipartisan support. And they're going to a final vote in the House in that state. And if it passes, then it goes to the governor. So what it is that TikTok may not operate within the territorial jurisdiction of Montana. It also prevents the mobile app from being downloaded in the state. The Montana Department of Justice would fine app stores or TikTok $10,000 for each discrete violation and $10,000 for each data violation continues. The bill only impacts the distribution of the act. It does not have any penalties for the users. So that's what's going on in Montana. They're going to pass a bill. They say it's going close to getting passed. Prohibits downloads of TikTok in this state. So how would that work?
I don't know, but what else is there to do in Montana but make videos? I'm like.
So when I read this story, this was. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's mountains. There's mountains there.
There are mountains there. Okay.
That's it.
So this was this article I read was one of the business owners in Montana that was crying about the TikTok going away and what do I do, and my business is built on it. I'm like,
well, it's probably withdrawal because, like I said, there's not much to do in Montana.
Your business should not be built on a social media app.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a business. You're an influencer. If your thing is, well, I need TikTok to survive, then you're an influencer.
We may also need some mental health things because of addiction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, it's pretty lonely in Montana, Wyoming, and some other places.
So this is what's happening. So we're going to see, again, I said at the beginning of the year, we're going to see this TikTok story play out, and it's playing out. Different role, different people, and we don't know where it's going to go. But it's going to continue to be a story, is what I'm trying to say. We'll see what happens. Something will happen. I don't know.
Eat an elephant.
What's that?
One bite at a time.
The best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. That's what they do on TikTok. That's what they do on TikTok.
Right. But see, now here comes, remember the Lemon 8 and the Clapper and this app and that app from ByteDance. ByteDance is doing whack-a-mole. Like Charlene said, the ByteDance is throwing out apps left and right because they know that Gen Z in America, the U.S. Gen Z kids have an appetite for this type of thing. And they're giving them tidbits. They're giving them morsels that they want to eat.
Look, they can even get us to give up government's information on Discord. You know that we ain't giving up. We're not giving up TikTok.
Yes, I forgot about that story.
They give up anything. They give
right. The Discord, the guy that was on Discord that gave out the government documents and secrets. So
yeah, we're having problems just holding ice water. Give us a break.
So it's a world that we're entering. Things are splintering, fracturing, things are happening. Gen Z don't want to give this up. ByteDance is throwing everything, so it's a dance. That's all I can say. And I try to keep up with it. So that is your social media news update for the week.
Woo! And that was fun.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Tachi, you have the floor.
Well, I hope I can provide as much fun and laughs as TJ did. But let's take a look. Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is a couple of things that we talked about on Mediascope on Wednesday, but some new things that have developed as well. One of the things that has developed is, well, actually from Wednesday, and TJ knows this, but I'm asking you all, would you be willing to have an extra tax on your streamer, whether it's Netflix, Hulu, whatever it is, so that projects in your city could get going, whether it's road, sidewalks, the New York City subway? Are you willing to do that?
I think I might be already paying for that. I got
That's
so many
what I
taxes on my Comcast. I don't know what's what.
Yeah, don't we have the taxes already in there?
I can't figure out the bill. Every time I turn around, there's another $2 for something. It's like this thing is inching up back to cable.
And you know, let's even get away from that bill for a moment. I thought that part of the taxes that we did pay, the whole reason we pay taxes is for capital projects. Am I correct? Schools and such, etc.
Exactly.
Taxes. So what did you do? It's like, and I said this on Wednesday, it's like when, you know, your parents give you money for something and then you spend it on something else. And now you actually need the thing they gave you the money for, and you ask for it again. And then, well, what did you do with the money I gave you in the first place? So I'm asking you, cities, what did you do with the money I gave to you in the first place?
There you go.
So the whole thing is, go ahead.
Not to mention, my state just raised one of the cities close to me just raised the city tax on stuff to 9% between the feds. Come on.
And here's the thing, I do not mind paying taxes because I think that's part of being a good citizen, to help things run. The government doesn't have its own money, so it needs to get it from somewhere. So I'm fine as long as I see where it's coming from. I have to pay you, and then I still have to pay for health care, whether you're paying premiums or you pay outright out of the pocket. I have to pay you, and I have to pay for dental care. Those are the things I'm talking about. So you're charging us triple and quadruple charging us for things, and then now you want to add an extra tax to streamers to pay for. Let me just tell you the story before I get on a soapbox. So it's not just the US. It's politicians in North America and Europe. They're looking to these new ideas to fund film and TV policy goals, but also capital projects like the New York City subways. So, I'm really interested to know what you all think about that. Fred had a thumbs down over here on Clubhouse. He was like, not today.
Listen, we got a rat problem that we need to take care of.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We got a rat. New York City has a rat problem. Sorry. But that comes first. We got a rat czar. So,
Fred?
No, I was asking, where's this rat problem at? That's good.
New York.
All you have to do is go take the L train, the A train, and you'll see a rat problem.
It's always been a rat problem. And when they started the Second Avenue subway, and when they all came out of the ground years ago, then they
scattered.
They're all scared. The moment you start digging, we got to find a new place, and then you start seeing them. So they're always there. They're like hidden, but you'll see them.
They're there.
To be honest, a lot of places have a rat problem.
Yes, they do. It's not, and that's one of the things. Like, we were saying, like, it's not just New York City; it's everywhere. So, but it's just we're trying to get a handle on it because that's like the number one, one of the number one complaints. We got lots of number one complaints. So. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So here's the thing. In Canada, for years, politicians have actually looked to foreign digital platforms as a source of free cash to help producers compete against Hollywood. So if you know this, I grew up across the bridge from Canada. So we could not, when they were Canadian, and we watched a lot of Canadian television, but when they were showing American shows, first of all, they would not rebroadcast back into America. So it would put on something else, so we wouldn't see that American show. And there is a charge, because what is happening is Hollywood, a lot of the media in Canada started to become very American, meaning American shows, etc. So to give Canadian producers a fair shake, there was a rule instituted that X amount of television in Canada needs to be by Canadian producers, which I 100% agree 100% agree with.
Yeah.
So, but they've also been charging foreign digital platforms as a way to, make money and to help producers compete against Hollywood. So this new legislation will compel foreign internet platforms to directly subsidize local content as well. And then in addition, many U.S. streamers have called for regulations to help to add a tax to help with projects like New York City subway fare, and they're already on the way up. TJ, aren't they raising the subway fares again?
Yeah, there's talk of it. I'll try to avoid it. I try to avoid the news, but there's talk of it. So
yeah, I help you. In that case, it may be helpful, so that you're like, what, $4? When did that happen? So that type of thing. So Chicago enacted an amusement tax in 2015 that included a 9% fee on the subscription cost of streaming services, and that's actually regarded as the first tax specifically targeting streamers. So
wow.
Chicago, we see, yeah, exactly. So if you're not from Chicago and you don't know, this is not something you probably would have known. And they actually collected more than $30 million from users of streaming services in 2021, according to the Hollywood Reporter and Bloomberg Tax Analysis. Apple actually challenged that tax, claiming it discriminated against streamers compared to live performances, which are taxed at a lower rate. But last year, they settled the suit after an appeals court rejected those arguments. So the UK did the same thing. There's a draft media bill published March 29th that would force online services to follow the code of conduct set out by their national regulator, Ofcom. So that's looking more at the material end of it. But across Europe, they're looking, and the US and North America, they're looking to streamers for different things, to fund different things for media, but also to fund city projects. But I'm not in favor of anybody adding to my bill to fund things I already pay for. Look, I don't have any kids right now, so I'm already paying for things like in the Broward County public school system, and I don't have near a damn child in that system, but I still pay for it. I'm not wanting to continue, and I don't mind if I see that it's going somewhere good. I have criticisms, but we'll leave that for another show. But, if I see that it's doing something and it's going somewhere good, then I don't care. But I've already given you money and I don't see what you're doing with it. I see that it's not being used for what it's being used for. Why would I then agree to allow you to charge me more when I already gave you money? So...
So this is the little tax that they're putting on, like with the cell phone, when, and government fees. Why?
Exactly.
And that are not, no.
Because the phone is already taxed. And now you got a government fee.
And see, and I think the what are those delivery people do that stuff too, because there's they tell you, okay, there's no delivery charge. However, there's a service fee, there's a fuel fee, there's a something else fee, and then they want me to tip on top of all of that.
Well, how about that thing where there's an 18% gratuity included in the price, and then they got a line there for you to tip? It's like, I already gave you 18%. What? God only gets 10.
And then they want the base tip should be 30% now. I saw that.
Yeah, then I was like, wait a minute.
Your base salary should include that. Why are you expecting me to pay for the salary? See, and that's the thing. Tips are supposed to be contingent upon good service. But if it's something that is expected now, there's no incentive for you to go above and beyond. But you're doing a job. I don't necessarily need you to go above and beyond. I would like it. But if you're just doing the job that you're paid to be doing, then let your employer pay you.
Right. Because and oh, wait a minute. So when you go into the restaurant to buy the food, it's cheaper than you ordering it. They have added on to the items, and they tell you that items in the items are higher here. Then I'm like, wait.
Let me tell you, when you go in, because you can go in and order, for a restaurant and go pick it up. If I'm picking it up, I am doing the work. I'm paying for the labor of you cooking it and putting it together in the price of what I'm eating. If you want to add to that, that's fine. But don't add a tip line on my my receipt.
I'm picking it up. I feel you.
That line stays just as blank. I say, have a nice day, and I leave. Because how very dare you? And the whole thing is, you understand, and this is, restaurant.
Uh-oh. Is it me? I don't hear anything.
No, I think.
You hear me?
Oh.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Here we go. So what I said is that you understand when you go into the restaurant business what the margins are, what the profit possibly could be. It is the overhead in the restaurant industry is so much, but what is not right is you to pass on the money or the costs that you did not think about to the consumer. You need to do full analysis before you open a restaurant to know that it's going to be something that is not only sustainable, profitable, but also sustainable. So the moment it's not sustainable, it's like, okay, well, that's fine. When things go up, raise the prices. Nobody is expecting free. But then don't expect me to pay your workers too with exorbitant. It's like tips here are exorbitant and they are expected. If you go to Asia, depending on where you are, like Southeast Asia, you don't tip.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
Because it's expected that your employer is supposed to be paying you for your job. Why am I paying you?
I've heard lots of tales of people that come here from other countries and they visit and they go to they're like, what is this tipping thing? They don't know what that is. What is that?
And then to outright say it, like, okay, and I know that's a system here, so that's the way it's going to be. But it's like you ride a shuttle bus and they have a big old tip jar there, or there's I don't mind doing it for exceptional service, but not for what the hell you are supposed to do anyway.
And the thing that I wanted to make sure that I explained correctly was the fact that on the delivery food, when you order the delivery food, they have already added $2 to whatever item that you're going to get.
Yeah. The menu items. Yes, the menu items are $1 to $2 higher than if you went into the restaurant.
Right. And then they charge you delivery fee,
service fee, and a tip.
And fuel fee and a tip.
And the audacity to order food from a service fee.
Yes.
So, there are all sorts of fees where it's like for something like an 8-piece of sushi, you could be spending like $50 by the time you're done. Is it worth it? Is it that delicious? In my estimation, no. No food is that delicious. So,
listen, I'm getting my exercise because when I order wings, I don't have I go walk the 2 or 3 blocks and I go pick it up. Because I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
So my question is, ladies, do you think it's an effort to get us to come back into the building so they can eliminate this whole delivery service thing with the third party?
No. See, go ahead, Fred.
It's the whole power of the nickel and dime system. They're going to get the nickel and dimes from you whether you stay at home or you don't.
Yep.
Yep.
They're going to get it from you.
Yeah.
And when I tell people when they're trying to get you to come back into the building, and I've read many articles talking about it, it's economic based. The strength of most cities or the image of their strength is downtown, the downtown economics.
Yeah.
And people, they get them to come back to the building in downtown area. You're going to spend, just look at how much money you spend. As soon as you walk out the door, that's gas you're spending.
Yep.
Tolls in some areas. But you go down to that building, half the people in downtown areas are buying something from some local restaurant.
Right.
Right.
Doing that. And if those restaurants are not making money, that makes the economics of downtown look bad. Then you got the real estate issues. Then you got, my fact, here in Cleveland, it's one big, huge, I forgot the name of this company. I need to find out about them. But they rented the tallest building in Cleveland for like 30 years. Well, they just moved out. Got everybody work from home. Now you got this big vacant building in downtown Cleveland, big historic building, because the economics of downtown are falling. The only way you're going to get that back up is getting people to come back downtown and or have more events. So right now in the event industry, you got a lot of tourism agencies or event industries trying to get people, create some events. We need some downtown happenings. If that don't work, we need to get the people back in the building so we can get them to spend their money. So they're getting you at home, or they're going to get you to come in the building. Tell them to go.
Right.
I like that. The having the events idea is great because, is people want to get out and do things. And I always say you want to do something Instagrammable or shareable, because it's like, oh, I want to share it on social media. I'm having a great time. So that having events is the way to go, instead of going, well, we're going to drag people out of their uncomfortable homes and go to the office, which they're like, well, I'm working from home and everything's good, and I can stay at home and take care of my kid that's sick or the dog that's sick or whatever, and I don't have to be dragged into the office. So they're gonna have to try to figure that out, because once humans get comfortable in a spot, it's kind of hard.
Not only that, I'm telling you, I went downtown just to pick up a document, and I had to download an app just to frickin' park. And then the person walking me through downloading the app, because I'm sitting there in the parking space with the meter, is not even in my state, city, country. It was just, I was like, you know what? I knew there was a reason why I don't come down here.
That's another thing.
Again, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I'm very much a city girl. And so I think I've just become used to these types of things, which for some people are inconveniences, especially if you live in suburban or more rural areas outside of the cities, but like not so far outside of the cities. I think it's for you. This is why people want things where they live. And that there's, unless you have an incentive to come into cities, like Fred was saying, you're not going to. So with the app thing, talking about technology, let me tell you how much I love it, because all I have to do is I have like 2 of these apps for both Miami and for Fort Lauderdale. All you have to do is tap, do how long you're doing, and you're good. You don't have to find change. You don't have to use your credit card and go to the machine. I can bypass all of that. But that's because I live in the city. When I first moved here, and I hate suburban areas. I shouldn't say I hate. I don't like to live in them. But I ended up living in one because it was closer to the university. But the moment I was like, oh, I'm not buying out here. I'm a city girl. I'm buying in the middle of the city. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm like walking distance, and then no more than a 5-minute drive from the downtown, from the beach, from a lot of these things. And I knew that I wanted to be closer to where action and things were. So I wanted the city. So, but you have to have a city that has things there. Like Fred was talking about, someplace like a Cleveland, a lot of these former, quote, Rust Belt areas where they made an effort to drive people into suburbs, because the downtown areas were where a lot of the industry was, and nobody wanted to be there, and they were not developing them. So that's a whole other thing, but good convo. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, it's mostly city planning, like having the events, the Cleveland thing. The city need to step up their strategy of how do we get this space? What do we do with it?
Yeah, that's what they did in Sacramento, where the downtown commons are. It's
Mhm.
called Doko, and they have the arena like right there. And then they started putting shops and
Mhm.
stuff around the arena, enticing people to come to
Right.
to
And
be downtown.
there needs to be a reason to go downtown.
Right.
Yes, don't dare drive your car down there though.
Yeah, but
But you know what the whole thing is too? That's the thing about, although it's usually more expensive to live downtown in most cities than it is farther out. That's why people move farther away from city centers. But if you are already living downtown or living closer to the city centers, you can walk to these
Right.
places. That's not in the best interest of things like the oil lobby,
okay.
etc. They want you to drive. But
Yeah.
yeah, so this is it's interesting. It's interesting. I wanted to get a couple of more media stories in
Okay.
before we head
Yeah, go ahead.
out. Let's talk about what anybody know what I'm sure you can guess. The hottest show of 2021. Can anybody tell me what that was?
2021.
Yeah,
Oh.
did you say good times? Good night, Fred.
Bridgerton?
2021. He said
I'm
good
thinking
times.
Bridgerton.
Was
Yeah,
it
I'm thinking
Bridgerton?
you're right.
Didn't it come out then?
Bridgerton was one of the biggest ones, but there's a show that was even
Hamilton?
Stranger Things?
Down Abbey. Down Abbey.
no.
Stranger Things?
Hamilton? What? I
No,
don't
think
know.
Asia. Think Asia.
Oh, Asia. That game.
Oh my,
show?
yeah, the
That what's the name of
Squid
it?
Games. Yeah, Squid
Games.
Games.
Yes.
I still
yes,
haven't
yes.
seen it. So, but
Me
anyway.
neither.
Yeah, I have no desire to see bloody
Me
people
neither.
being dragged off of a court. No. So, but it's a huge show, obviously, for them. One of the biggest, obviously, Bridgerton, and they've had other big things as well at Netflix. But Squid Game was arguably one of their biggest shows. So, because of that, Netflix is developing not only the second season of the series, but they're also developing an American version of the series.
Why? Okay.
Exactly. So this is, right now it's it's a maybe, but it probably will happen. So they may be developing an American remake of the series with David Fincher, reportedly a person of interest to produce it. Leave things alone anyway. So Squid Game season 2 is coming. Let me talk a little bit about that. Song Ji-hoon learned a lot from the first version, or season 1 of Squid Game. And so we should see some interesting things in season 2. They are filming now. But yeah, there is going to be an American remake of Squid Game. Thoughts, ladies and gentlemen?
I have no idea what the other one is, so I can't comment.
I didn't care for Squid Games. I know the world went crazy for the show, but I was like, it was not something I wanted to watch.
Fred, you want to weigh in? I can tell you the premise after Fred goes. Go ahead.
No, I never looked at it. I would never have guessed it. I heard about it, but I know anything about it.
Okay, well then I guess I have to tell you. I should tell you better than I can show you in this case. So Squid Game is actually a Korean show from South Korea that the premise is there are people that owe money, that are in debt, and they are approached by an entity that's like, oh, well, you could come on this game show or play this game and win money to get out of debt. But it really is diabolical in nature because there's this giant doll, like they do red light, green light. So they're playing children's games and they're split into teams. But if you lose, you die.
Okay, see.
So
I'd rather stay in debt.
So like Survivor, but you really die.
So this is just like on the app because my granddaughter was playing with the app. Have you ever played?
She was playing the Squid Game app.
Yeah, and
you playing that
on Roblox, they were like red light, green light, or something. And so we were playing red light, green light, and the people, I died, and she would like rack up points or something.
Oh wow, there's a children's game for you.
Wow.
And so I'm like, okay. So this is Squid Games?
Yeah, but see, you died in real life in Squid Games, the show. You wasn't getting a second life. You're out.
You're out. You're done.
You're done.
Wow.
So yeah,
So-
it's really it's interesting. So I have not watched it because that's just not my thing. But people who have watched it say it's great. But here is the interesting thing. First of all, South Korea they are amazing when it comes to film and television. The level of production, these stories are just really interesting. So South Korea is amazing. I think something will be lost if they try to make an American remake.
Yeah,
Why
it will
not come up with something on our own?
Right. See, the remakes, not everything transfers over.
That's like the Britain shows with the UK shows.
Right.
They have a great show over there, and then they bring it here. I think The Office was the one that worked, but most of the time they don't work. Like it's a Britain show, and it comes over here, and they Americanize it, and it doesn't work.
Now, the only thing that I saw that worked besides The Office was Ghosts.
Yes, Ghosts. That's another one. Yeah,
that's
another one. But most of the time they don't work. And I agree with Dr. Tachi about the South Asian film industry. I watch a lot of the drama shows on Netflix. I love
them. And you don't know that they're Asian until they run the credits and stuff like that, because it was like the storylines are really well done. The stories were good. I think I watched something yesterday called Beef or something about these two people that got into road rage or whatever. And I'm thinking,
Right. And I'll watch a lot of the historical ones, like the ones where they have the costumes and things, and it's like whatever. It's like way years ago. Yeah. I love those. They're great.
I still like the Attorney one where the girl was autistic and she was.
I started watching that. It's called.
That was good.
It's called
Amy Wu. Yeah, Wu Attorney Wu. It was really good.
Yeah.
I still have to watch that. Maybe that's something I'll get into this weekend. We'll see. Maybe it will woo me over there. So we'll see. But yeah, Squid Game.
No,
I'm not doing Squid Game.
No, I was like, nope. Was
really weird. It was.
Nope.
It was
I guess it was a Gen Z thing. I don't know. I was just like,
I'm not into. Okay, if I'm in debt, you'd rather keep the debt than to
why do they have to die?
My question is why?
Sorry, go ahead.
Why are so many people in debt that they would, or so desperate that they would come on a show?
Well, because you want to get out from under the pressure. I can understand that.
Is that sort of like, I don't know if y'all guys are old enough to remember this, Queen for a Day, and they would have this.
I've heard of it.
These competitions. These ladies would come on for the day. Everybody had a sob story. And at the end of the competition, somebody was crowned Queen for a Day, and they gave her a washing machine. Well, in those days.
So they made her day better.
Yes.
She had the worst day because she had the worst story.
I don't know if it was based on, I don't remember if it was based on the stories or on the little competitions that they had to come on and,
Oh, okay.
But it sounds similar. We're going to pay off your debt.
I don't do dog and pony shows. I'm not chasing no carrot. I'm sorry.
I hear that. Well, and the thing is, too, asking why people would be willing to do this. We also, and this is another reason why it may not translate culturally, because there is a shame with not being all together when you have certain Asian cultures. So the fact that you're in debt, that's shameful.
That
I think. So that's why people would be so desperate to get out of debt, to restore their name so that there's no shame on their head. So I think that's another reason, as I was saying, that this may not translate, because people here have no shame about it.
You're like, what, debt? Oh, what?
Yeah, my credit score is, there's a family honor.
Right. It's tied to the family name and
It's about being honorable. Yes, exactly. And avoiding shame and saving face.
Right.
Cultures. So I think that's why it works well there. That was the perfect premise, to avoid shame, to get out of, and then the pressure as well. It works. But how do you make that translate to an American audience with an American story when that same regard for honor is not there. We don't
Yeah,
care
we like
about
whatever.
the country.
I'll pay you when I pay you. But
Yeah, we like whatever. You keep calling me, you keep what you can talk about. No, I don't really care. That's the attitude here. It's different. So you're right. How does that translate?
So we'll see what they're able to come up with. We could be all completely horribly wrong, and it does exceedingly well.
But see, wait a minute. I just had an idea of like a show where, so Americans would care. It would be something about, well, you said something, you do something to my mama, and I'm gonna get you, like that. The thing that gets the rage in you, like I would be thinking about that. Like, well, I gotta save my mama.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. You understand what I'm saying? Like the thing they care about over there. Well, it's like, okay, all right, don't do anything to my mom. You have to come after you. So some kind of show like around that. I don't know what they would do, but I'm trying to think of something that where people would care so immensely like that. Yeah, to do something, right.
Or maybe if you're trying to save a puppy or a dog or something, they would.
Don't mess with my pet.
People love their pets in America.
Fred, you were going to say something? Go ahead.
I would just give people who got a beef with somebody, just put her in the boxing ring. Boxing beef or something like, hey, here's the issue, here's what's what. We can't take it to court, but I got an issue with you.
Right.
Duke it out.
Wrestle it out. MMA.
But see, here's the thing. Are those the reason Americans are very drawn to Squid Game? And often we don't think high level, but sometimes we do. So the concept of Squid Game is really high level, that it's intriguing.
Right.
We have stories that are intriguing like that. I'm not trying to make a blanket generalization. We're not very high thinking as a culture. So we don't have something that would be that intricate that would be like, oh my gosh, I didn't
right.
That would draw you in. I'll say really quickly, I remember I went to Filmapalooza, I think it was 2014, and which is the competition, the worldwide competition for the 48-hour film project. So you have 2 days to make a film. I was a judge for the one in this city, so I ended up going to Filmapalooza, and it's because all the cities compete. South Korea, oh my gosh. South Korea came and it was so high level, and the production quality, I was like, you won. Nobody else should even bother to show their film. South Korea, you won. So there are certain, France, of course, was amazing as well. There are certain places that the thought process, and it has to do sometimes with culture and education system.
Yeah.
They teach you things so well that it translates into the artistic works that you do as well. And I'm not trying to say we don't have that. We do have a level of that, but on the whole, no, because intellectualism is not valued in this country.
Right.
The dumber you are, the better.
Yes, the smarter you are, the more you get picked on, the more they, all of that. So yes, I agree.
Exactly. And that translates into lack of creativity. Sometimes we have some amazingly creative people, but they compared to what they're able to do in other countries because family structures support it, government supported, municipalities supported. It is supported all the way around. And so, of course, you're going to thrive and flourish. So then you get here, and all we could do is continuous reboots, reimaginings, and remakes of the same damn thing.
Right.
So
I think they have more of a unity community attitude, and we Americans are more individual rights versus community rights. That might be it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We are a low context culture, which also means that we're also individualistic.
Right.
The good of the individual supersedes the good of the community. And that's not in everything, but that's a blanket generalization for our culture in general. So, I have one more story because I know we are over time. So let's talk a little bit about the rebrand of HBO Max to just Max.
Really?
Is
that happening now? Is it happening now?
The 23rd of May, it will. Okay. It's happening the 23rd of May.
Okay.
So They announced 2 days ago that they're going to relaunch HBO Max as just Max, and this will include content from Discovery Plus and a ton of other features. So, what does that mean for you if you get free HBO Max from AT&T because of your internet or wireless plans? Good news, because that same night, HBO emailed the customers to inform them that their accounts are going to switch over to a Max account when the rebranding happens on May 23rd. So for now, it seems that you're going to get to keep the plan that you are currently on, with some caveats.
So
Sure,
here
I
we
gotta
go.
check my mail. I ain't seeing any
Yeah, check
mail.
your mail. But hold on, before you get happy and start libationing it up, if you switch AT&T plans, you're going to lose access to Max because new AT&T plans don't offer Max, as AT&T no longer owns HBO. Secondly, there was no word if AT&T customers will have the option to upgrade to the new, more expensive 4K option for $19.99 a month. So things are always subject to change, but for right now, HBO Max is telling current customers that their accounts will switch over to a Max account in May. And this is according to Cord Cutter's News. So if this is you, good news. But if you try to switch AT&T accounts, it's not going to apply because new plans don't have that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I got the back AT&T, and I also paid for Discovery Plus. I heard they were merging. So my question:
Yes.
Do I get Discovery Plus for free since it's part of Mac? Are they merging like that, or are they keeping it separate?
Now, I don't know if everything from Discovery Plus is going to be there, but you are going to get content from Discovery Plus. So I don't know right now if they're keeping that. They're merging, but I don't know if they're keeping everything, if that makes any sense. But yes, you are going to get Discovery Plus content. I don't know if it's going to be everything. I didn't discover that yet. And they probably haven't released that yet. So we'll see.
That's what I was waiting on. I said, okay, Discovery Plus, I tell anybody, for the value you get for how much you pay, one of the best apps out there. They just don't have live TV. But I was like, okay, if they merge and put Discovery Plus all up on the Max, hey, I'm rolling. I can give up that $10 a month or whatever. I think it's I pay 7 or 8. That's what I was waiting on, but I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything either. But if they do fully incorporate all the content from Discovery Plus to HBO Max, please expect a fee hike soon.
All right,
expect a fee hike.
So then HBO Max, the content will still be the same, like,
Yes.
Okay, because I go over there when they got a movie come out, and I will get it for that one time, because I can pay $14.99 and just watch the movie, and when that month is over, we cancel the thing, and I just paid $14.99 for a movie.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a rebrand. All of this, it's the same content, but it is just a rebrand. And I think I told you all earlier that one of the reasons for the rebrand is because they felt that the name HBO could turn off new potential customers and new customers. Why, I don't know, but that was part of the reasoning in addition to other things.
Because HBO was home box office a while back.
It was.
But then they were also known for content that wasn't all that great. Back in the 80s, was it the 80s and 90s? Because it was a little risque over there.
Right, but the thing is, there were not very many choices back then. Mm-hmm. You had HBO, you had Cinemax, you had, I think, there were maybe 3 or 4, quote, home box office type things that showed movies in entirety. So you didn't have a lot of choice. So when they were the only game in town, or one of the only games in town, they get what they like. But now they're competing with true streamers, etc. So the rebrand is warranted.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's the thing that got me, because I'm thinking, okay, you go on to Max, and I'm thinking, is Cinemax's name totally dead, where it's not triggering somebody like myself? When I think of Max, I think Cinemax.
Exactly. Fred, I'm with you. When they said Max, I'm like, are they combining the Cinemax with? Okay.
Yeah. Well, so this is the thing. As time goes on, we remember Cinemax But think about somebody who's like maybe a younger millennial, or they don't. So, after a while, people start to, and I even forgot, until I started talking about this now, I even forgot about Cinemax.
Yeah.
So, for some people, that may not be the first thing that comes to mind. And I think they're looking at it as, rather than saying plus, because everybody's using plus, they said, well, let's go with something different. Let's use max to the max. So maximum rather than plus.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, they like it. I love it. But that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you so much.
Very good.
Thank you. So if you are inclined
Thank you guys. Amazing play.
Thank you. Is that Dee Dee?
Dee Dee.
Hey,
Yeah,
Dee
Dee.
Welcome. So we'd like you to become a part of the BizChicks community. All you have to do that is go to bizchicks.net, and we are learning how to use our community aspect of YouTube to do this. So go to bizchicks.net, hit the subscribe button, and you're part of the community. You'll get notifications there when we got things coming up and going out. And you can also text Biz to 33777. If you would like to get text notifications, just text Biz to 33777. You'll be notified when we have our weekly shows, when we've got workshops coming up, when we've got things going on, especially when you want to be here on Tuesdays with TJ, because she always talks to us about digital marketing and more social media activity, things that we need to know to grow our business. Dr. Tachi is around on Wednesdays with Mediascope. I jumped in on her Instagram Live this past week. It was really good. And we've got Coach Karen on Wednesdays talking about your money and your mind. Thursdays, Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu, because if you don't have your health, you will not enjoy your wealth.
That's right.
And we're back here on Fridays for tech, like we did today.
Tech Life Weekly.
Tech Life Weekly. We learned a doozy. I got a new app today. So this was really good. Thank you for your input, Fred, and all those who are watching live on the Clubhouse. And if you're on Clubhouse, you probably realize they got some new things happening over there. So when I went to set up today, I had to set up from the house instead of setting up from the calendar. So things are in flux over there. So update your app in Clubhouse. That is all I have for you. And Terry, you want to close us out?
I just want to remind everybody that you can find TJ everywhere online at Terry Johnson Online. We really appreciate all that she does. And we want you to follow her also. Remember, we'll be here same time, Monday through Friday. And we look forward to talking to you. We're here to help you take the hassle out of your hustle. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.